sent to the WhatsApp group. And before starting the discussion, let us remind ourselves about all the meritorious deeds that we have done throughout this sansaric journey, especially towards Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So this this time, this discussion is not a coincidence. So it is a result of past causes. So since all the causes that are needed for this to occur has been created in the past, this Dhamma discussion has been is possible right now. So let us remind ourselves about all those meritorious deeds that we may have done um, throughout this sansaric journey. So those meritorious that meritorious power will be helpful for us to have a clear mind, a peaceful mind, and a peaceful surrounding to have this Dhamma discussion. So all the meritorious deeds throughout this sansaric journey may agglomerate together, and everyone's mindsets may become ready for Dhamma discussion, for a Dhamma discussion without any Pancha Nivarana. So with that understanding, with that idea, recite Sadhukara, accepting this blessing.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And also we have we have to remind ourselves that we have done good things during this sansari journey, as well as we have done negative things, immoral, unwholesome things as well. So if we have done, let us remind ourselves about all those negative, unwholesome things which we have done towards Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. Especially if we have done anything negative related to a Arya person, let us remind all of those faults and let us acknowledge our faults and and with the idea that we are not going to do those kinds of negative things again. And this is the forgiveness that we seek in Buddha Sasana. In Buddha Sasana, the forgiveness is acknowledging our faults and moving forward, correcting our faults with the determination that we are not going to do those negative, unwholesome things again. So, in this occasion, let us imagine that Supreme Buddha is in front of us and we are promising him that we are acknowledging our faults in front of him and promising him that we are not going to do any wrong, unwholesome acts again because we know what is right and what is wrong right now. In the past, we did not know what is right and what is wrong. Because of avidya, we thought the wrong things as right and right things as wrong. So, with this idea, recite sadhukara, seeking forgiveness for all the negative, unwholesome things we have done.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So, we have few questions today, uh, and which was posted during these discussions in the previous weeks. So, we'll go through the unattended questions first, uh, and then we'll move on to other questions you might post during the discussion. And since these questions, the three questions that you have, three or four questions that you have sent to the WhatsApp group are not that uh, complicated or doesn't need that much of explanations. So I thought before going to the questions, we'll discuss last the question that was discussed last week about this how to uh, how to practice the Arya pathway. So initially we discussed about Vitakka Sankara Vitakka Santana Sutta. So in that, we understood how to tackle defilements, raga, dosa, and moha. So after tackling those, we understood that we can use the you can use a good thought. That means Buddhanusati, Dhammanusati, Sanghanusati, or Silanusati, whatever it is. You can use those good thoughts to suppress the bad ones. So that is one strategy. Then you got to know about this Adinava Sanya. Third one is Asati Amanasikar. So you are going to forget it. You are not going to attend to that thought, or you are not going to create more thoughts on that pathway, or you are going to stop that train of thoughts. So that is the third one. And the fourth one was the Vitakka Sankara Santana Manasikar. And the last one was uh, this trying to this we are trying to in the fourth one we are trying to stop this negative thoughts by um, um, what do you call forcing them, or we are clenching our upper teeth to the low upper jaw to the lower jaw, and we are trying to forget about, or we are trying to see the negative aspect of this and these negative thoughts. So we are going to blame those thoughts. So that is the third one, and that is the last one. And after that, we we went through the Ganaka Moggallana Sutta, the way, and in that sutta we understood how we are going to get rid of this raga dosa moho, raga kyo nibbana, dosa kyo nibbana, and moha kyo nibbana, how we are going to achieve it through a methodical pathway. We have a plan. We have goals that we should achieve, and it started with getting rid of all the um, akusala or defilements. So the 10 immoral or 10 unwholesome acts. Getting rid of all the 10 unwholesome acts is the first one. Then we understood the second one is Indriya meditation. After Indriya meditation, you go for the 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 the, the ahara or the food. So you have to limit the food so that your body is getting ready for what you are creating in the mind. So when you have limited the food intake, when you have limited it to the level that you the, to the level, so you understand the food intake is to complete the Arya pathway and not for anything else. So so when you think about completing the Arya pathway, it has several parts. So you have to survive as well. You have to do your jobs. You have to do your daily activities. That also is included in the when you are telling that you are having this food to survive and to complete the Arya pathway. So that is the end goal. So other goals are also should be achieved because they facilitate the end goal. So the thing is, you are not taking food with the intention of um, being what do you call, for power, for beauty, for what do you call, farmer and everything, that those should be those part that part should be eliminated. You should not take food to um, fill your belly excessively. So that should not happen. So you should know this is enough for me to complete the day without discomfort. So that is the the next step. And after that, the sleep. Sleep should not be a hobby. It should not be something that you use for fun, or to when you don't have anything to do. So sleep should not be something that comes to your mind. So sleep is to get rid of the tired or the restlessness or tiredness in your body, to refresh your body. Other than that, sleep should not exceed those limits, and that is the next step. And after that, we have the this sati sampajanya. So you have to be aware of what you are doing. When you are lifting your hand, you have to be aware, why am I lifting my hand, whether it is to increase raga dosa moha or to decrease raga dosa moha, or if it is a neutral thing that is needed in the daily life. So you have to know, you have to understand how your postures and your movements are being happening. So that is the next step. So when you complete these steps, or this is the meditation, this as a whole, this is the meditation that you have to practice throughout the day. So when you practice this throughout the day, you are already completed all the minimum requirements for the meditation to occur. This meditation is the dhyana meditation, and as well as the vipassana meditation. So you have created all the necessary requirements for the vipassana meditation, because if you don't have these prerequisites, what happens is nivarana would cover up the this vipassana. So these are very needed. When you have these things, when you are actively um, doing or actively being mindful about these few things, the I think five things we have discussed, we have mentioned right now. So these about these five things, you have already gotten rid of that nivarana mindset. So kama chanda vyapada tina miduta vichikicha would not occur. So that is the ideal mindset for vipassana. So now we are going to see the meditation part. So now we'll get another methodology that is used in the RA pathway, and that is called Bojjanga meditation. So we'll apply that here, and we'll try to sharpen up our meditation part more. So this is about vipassana meditation, and vipassana will lead to samatha, and samatha would lead to vipassana, and this would help each other in the pathway. When you are develop, or when you are acting, or when you are practicing the act of meditation. So this is, don't get me wrong, this is not something that is, you should not confine this to a seated posture or the meditation posture. It is not something like that. You can do this all the time. You can use any posture which is comfortable, and you can do it anywhere if you have if don't have any other work to attend. So this is when you are starting the Bojjanga meditation, which we have discussed. This Bojjanga meditation have been discussed before, but since we have been discussing how to practice the Vihara pathway, I thought it would help if you get the full picture in one setting, or one go. So we have discussed how to get rid of raga dosamo, the tactics and everything, and now we are discussing the pathway from beginning to the end. So then now we are at the level of vipassana meditation. So we know now the nivarana has been eliminated in that mindset temporarily. So the temporary elimination of kama chanda vyapada dina miduta chokuchu vichikicha would lead to aranyagatuva, rukamulagatuva, sunyagara. We know the meanings of these things, and when that happens, when your mind is so ready for this, you know what to do. Nisidati Pallankang. Now what happens? You have to be very humble. You have to be very aware that this is not something to be arrogant. This is not something to be proud of, thinking that I am being able to do this and others are not doing that. Others are not doing this Indriya meditation, but I am a person who is very virtuous, and this virtuousness, thinking about this virtuousness itself, becomes a nivarana, and the Uddacha Kukucha nivarana would develop, and all the and the then the and the favorable environment would go down. So because of that, you become the mat on the floor. So if you are a mat on the floor, everybody wipes their foot on that mat. Likewise, this is a simile, or this is a comparison. So you become that mat on the floor. You become the puppy that everyone nobody cares about. So when you become that, you go to the zero level. You are in the flow. You are on the flow. You are the mat. And when that happens, you don't get that arrogant mindset, or don't get that very very what do you call mindset that is full of ego, that you are virtuous and that you are good, because that itself covers up the pathway. So when that happens, nisida dipalankang avujitva, then uh, ujung kayang, that means you are straight. And this has two meanings. You are straight because you are not doing the 10 unwholesome acts. That is one way. The other way is you have to keep your back straight, because that helps for the kundalini and everything to wake up, because that happens as a byproduct of what you are doing. You are not focusing on that. You are not seeking that, but that happens sometimes, for not for everyone, but for people that would be going in the samadhi pathway, cheto vimukti pathway. The others who would be developing the panya vimukti pathway might not develop that, but that is anyway, that is not our requirement, our goal. So that is a byproduct. If that happens, we don't care. May it happen. We don't care whether it happens or not. So anyway, keeping your back straight helps you um, help you to do this for a longer time, because if your back is arched, then you would get a backache, and this would not help, because when there's physical discomfort, that would impact your vipassana, because you cannot do the vipassana very effectively. So because of that also, you have to keep your back straight. And uh, most of the time, if the kundalini and everything is working, that itself would keep your back straight. You don't have to actively think about it. It happens automatically. The back would be straight without you knowing, and that is helping a lot. And the thing is, after that, when you have completed this, up to now you are in the on the your mindset is like a doormat on the zero level, and you are straight mentally as well as physically. So panidaya parimukang sating upatapetva. Now you are keeping your you are thinking about nibbana. You are focusing on nibbana, the peacefulness, the freeness, we can say the non bonding nature, the calm, peaceful nature, and non-attached nature. You know, the if I compact this feeling to one stanza, it is etang santang etang panitang yadidan sabba sankara samato sabbu patipati nisago tanhakyo virago nirodho nibbananti. That is what we are going to focus on. Now, when you focus on that, that is our end goal. So you are focusing on the end goal. You can focus on the end goal because you have already gotten rid of all the nivarana. You have already done your homework, or the prerequisites have been achieved. So you can do this. Now, when you are doing the Bojjanga meditation, you know there are two sets of Bojjanga. Sati Bojjanga has to be there at all times. And at in one end, you have to develop Dhamma Vijaya Sambojjanga, Virya Sambojjanga, and Piti Sambojjanga. These three with the Sati Sambojjanga should come together. And after some time, when you do that, Savitakka Savichara is what you are creating. And when you create Savitakka Savichara, gradually this it would start to develop, the Preeti would start to develop in your mind. And develop the if you are in the Cheto Vimukti pathway, if you are able to go to the Cheto Vimukti pathway, you would feel that in your body as well. You would physically feel the Preeti and the Sukha, and that is Preeti Sukha, and this would happen for a uh, for a period of time, and that would be uniform. You would feel these five characteristics: Savitakka, Savichara, Preeti, Sukha. These four would be felt uniformly without changing throughout a period of time, and that is called Ekagrata. And these five would occur. And when that happens, you would be able to have your samadhi without Savitakka, Savichara. And that would be Avitakkang, Avicharang, Vivekajang, Samajidang, it happens because of the samadhi. Samajidang, Priti Sukhang, Dutyajana. So the second, you would achieve the second one as well. And this is not for some people, if the samadhi organ is very powerful, samadhi indriya is very powerful, they would develop this very easily. But for some, you might struggle. It might take time, and you would have to put much effort to achieve this. But if you anyway, you have a virya indriya, so you have to put effort. So when you put effort and when you achieve these levels, you would you would know that my effort has been paid off. You would know that it's worth uh, my effort. You would have that idea, because it would help the environment that you are creating with the dhyana is very favorable for vipassana, because the nivarana would be suppressed for a longer period of time, and the perfect environment for vipassana would be there. So, and we'll go for a screen share, and I'll draw the way how you should practice this what do you call the Bojjanga meditation. Because when you practice Bojjanga meditation, it would be easy if you compare it with something else which we already know. So I am going to compare it with driving. I think I can't remember whether we have discussed it in this way. So anyway, I will go through it again if we have discussed before. So we'll compare this meditation to a vehicle being driven so by somebody. So give me some time. I'll screen share. I hope everybody can see. So let's say this is a road, and this is the vehicle. And this is Dhamma Vijaya. Preeti and Virya. Here we have Samadhi, Pasadi, Samadhi, and Upekha. And there, here we have the person, and we have Sati. So now Sati Sampajanga is like the light of the vehicle, or you can say eyes of the person, whatever it is. So you have to have your eyes open at all times. You have to know what you are doing. So your eyes are open, you are looking at what you are doing, and you start with Dhamma Vijaya, Preeti, and Virya. Dhamma Vijaya, what is Dhamma Vijaya? Dhamma Vijaya is Anicca Dukkha Anatta. So you know what is Anicca Dukkha Anatta. So when it with in this the in this favorable environment that we use to meditate, or or the the environment where the pancha nivarana is suppressed, you are going to do Dhamma Vijaya. You are going to think about the defilements you have. The the Digam Vasa Santo Digam Asasamiti Pajanati. Digam Va Pasa Santo Digam Pasasamiti Pajanati. We know these things. So you are trying to know your the this defilement status, and you are going to on this act on your defilement. So you are going to eliminate, you are trying to eliminate these defilements by using anicca dukkha anatta, just like cleaning a dirty cloth. So if the cloth is dirty, there are a lot of stains on the cloth. You have to know where the stains are. You have to have the chemical, which is the Dhamma Vijaya. You have to have the effort, which is Virya. Now you are using the effort to remove the stains, and you're happy when the stains are getting removed. You are when you are seeing the stains being removed. So that is Preeti. Preeti is, we can say, joy, something like joy. So it is mentally and physically felt if if you are in the Cheto Vimukti pathway. If you are a person who can enter the Cheto Vimukti pathway, then you would feel the Preeti in the physical aspect as well. So Anicca Dukkha Anatta is being practiced with effort, because you have to have the effort. Otherwise, it is not, initially it is not easy to think in this way, because you have not practiced it your entire sansar. So you are putting effort and doing and thinking in the it as anicca dukkha anatta. And when things are seen as anicca dukkha anatta, have a you get a feeling of relaxation. You don't, that tense nature of raga and dosa is not occurring at that point, and you are getting released, relaxed. Then the peaceful nature would come, non-attached, non-bonding nature would come, and you feel like floating. This this would that is that is what is called passadhi. So before passadhi, you would feel that happiness or joy, mentally and physically. So that is preeti. So now you are removing these stains using the chemical. Now we'll go back to this comparison where you are in a vehicle. Now this is nibbana, right? End of this road is nibbana. That is the supreme bliss of nibbana, or you can say the arihat state. So you are in this journey, and this is the you can name this road, and another name for this road is Eightfold Pathway or Aryattangika Magga. So, so when you do this, when you practice these first three items with sati, what happens? This goes out of the road. Because when you practice these first three Bojjangas, what you do is you turn your uh, steering wheel to the let's say left. If you turn, if you are rotating the steering wheel to the left, the vehicle would start to move towards the this edge of the road, that end of the road. And if you continue doing that for a longer period, it would get out of the road. Down, you are going off road. So now, if you go off road, you are not doing. You are not in the eightfold pathway. You are not in the correct pathway. You're going somewhere else. So you have to have the sati. You have to know. You have to be mindful where you are going. So when that happens, you have to change to these three, the other side, to the other side. Now you are using the steering wheel, and now you are rotating it to the other side. You are not rotating it to the left side but to the right side. Now you are clockwise rotating your steering wheel. If you do that, this would come right back on the track. And if you continue it more than needed, then you would go out of the road again, but from the other side, other end, this end. So if you get out of that end, again, what you have to do is you have to practice the next, or these three Bojjangas. Again, Dhamma Vijay, you go back to Dhamma Vijay, Preeti and Virya. So this is repeated. And the path there, if I write it down again here, if I draw it down again here, it's something like this. Now you are going this way and you are going this way, and your sati would develop, and you would be able to go like this. When you get the hang of it, when you understand these 2 points, when you have the experience what happens at these 2 points, you would be able to recognize it early, and you would be able to take measures early. So initially you would go zigzag, but later on, when you understand what to do correctly, when you get the hang of it, you would be able to go like this. You're not getting off road now. You are being able to stay in the pathway, and the zigzaggy nature would start to reduce, and you would be able to go in a straight line later. You know exactly what to do. You know when to shift, what and what to do. So what happens when you go? How to recognize whether you are off road at this end? When you are getting off road from that end, what happens? You are practicing more Dhamma Vijaya, Preeti and Virya. So when that happens, your mind would start to get, let's say, agitated. It's not calm anymore. Now your mind is going here and there. Your mind is not, uh, concentrated. It is, uh, you are thinking about various things, and still you are in the pathway of anicca dukkha anatta, but you are getting tired because of more virya, more effort. Now your mind is getting tired. You are not being able to think in the correct pathway. Your mind would start to go into other places as well, because that are not in the anicca dukkha realm of anicca dukkha anatta, we can say. So you are thinking of various things, various, how the world was created, how when was Supreme Buddha alive, and where was he, and we feel like we are still in the Arya land, but we are out of the land. We can say we are off road. We are out of the road. We feel like we are in the road, but we are thinking of we are thinking of things that are not exactly helping us, which is not anicca dukkha anatta. We are not now we are not focusing on anicca dukkha anatta because of so much effort. Our mind has got exhausted, and we are now going. Our mind is all over the place. So we have to know this point. We have to know that our mind is not now. Now our mind is getting exhausted, and we have to do something other than this. And at that point, you have to turn the. We have to adjust the steering wheel, adjust the pathway of the vehicle. Now you are going back to the track, and what you are doing, you are focusing on samadhi, pasadi, samadhi, and upekha. What is pasadi? When you do this for a certain amount of time, you would be able to feel the pasadi, and that is the, as we said, the floating nature, which is which can be mental, which can you would feel like you are very relaxed, you are very calm, your attachments has gone away, the mental attachments, and you feel very light, and there are no what do you call responsibilities in that mindset, no uh, no heaviness in that mindset. So relaxed, and that would help your body also to get relaxed and feel lightweight. You feel like your weight has reduced. You feel like air or cotton or something lightweight, like a feather. So when you try to focus on that, what you are focusing on, not on the physical floating nature, or floating nature, or physical um what do you call, discomfort that you get, or the lightness that you get, but you can do that as well, but it is better if you can focus on nibbana, which can be sunyata samadhi, apanihita samadhi, and animita samadhi. When you focus on that samadhi, you are not getting attached to anything. You if you remember about our meditation sessions, and in those sessions we started with trying to focus on the quality of air. So just like that, we are trying to focus on nibbana, comparing it with uh, the the non-bonding, non-attaching, light, free nature. And when you do that, the samadhi would be very starting to get powerful, because you are now again going this way, the other way, and you would get out of the this end, or the other end of the road, other limit, or the border of the road. You would get out of that, and you would be off road again. What happens at that point? When you are getting out of out of the road from this end, your mind would start to shrink, because you are not focusing on anything actively, because you know that there's nothing important or nothing valuable to focus, even to focus on. You'd have that kind of a mindset at that point. You'd think, why am I going to think about these things? Why am I going to open my eyes? What is valuable there in the outside world to look at? Everything is anicca. Everything is end up in viparinama. Everything is a culprit of dukkha, or a reason for dukkha. So why am I going to seek for those things? So why am I going to open my eyes? Why am I going to listen or focus my ears looking for sounds? It's the same thing for sounds as well. Why am I going to look for smells, tastes, touches, or even thoughts? Why am I going to think about these things? Nothing valuable to think about. The effort is so much. The effort I have to put to think about these things is so much. It is like cutting logs into cutting firewood into a river. So when you put logs onto a river, it just goes away. Oh, it is just getting floated downwards in the river onto the into the ocean. You would not be able to use it. Just like that, we are in a river, and that river is time. Now you are cutting logs, and this log and this collection of wood is to do something valuable, do something important, but you are putting into the ocean of time. And when the river of time, so when you put something into the river of time, it would float away towards the ocean, which is namagotta. So it would become a namagotta, and you would not be able to use it anyway. So just like that, why am I going to create these kinds of thoughts again and again and again, and that would have that has not done anything good for me. Still I am thinking. So you know the fault of that as well, and that would lead to, depending on your indriya levels, you would either focus on appanihita samadhi, animita samadhi, or sunyata samadhi. And that is the samadhi bojjanga here. It comes with the pasadi. So what is upeka? Upeka is you don't even attach to that mindset as well, which you have achieved by doing this, which can be the animita samadhi, some sunyata samadhi, and apanihita samadhi. So if you think as a whole human being, you are in this state, you would feel the very very what do you call blissful nature physically as well as mentally. Now you are not getting attached to that as well, even for on the physical blissfulness, even on the mental calmness and peacefulness. That is also something in this world that belongs to this world. If you get attached to something belongs to this world, when that thing, because that thing is out of your control, because that thing is dukkha, because that thing would end in viparinama, you would not be able to have that thing for yourself. You would not be able to control that even that mindset. So you have to be in the upeka state, neutral state. You should not get attached. So that is what is upeka. Because if the upeka is not there, whole satta bojjanga meditation is not there. Because if it is seven, if it should be seven or none, you cannot have six. You should have either seven bojjangas altogether or no bojjangas at all. Because if the sati is correct, you would understand that upeka is not there. If the pasadi samadhi is there, there should be upeka because all three comes together. So if the upeka is not there, samadhi is also not there, the correct samadhi is not there, the correct pasadi is not there, correct sati is not there. If the correct sati is not there, then correct dhamma vijay cannot be there. Correct preeti cannot be there. The correct virya cannot be there. There could be virya, but it is not the real virya that you have to put. There could be dhamma vijaya, but the anicca dukkha anatta, what you practice, is not the correct one that you are practicing. So there should be all seven bojjhangas in this meditation. Yes, at one point you have only four, and the other point you have, and at the other time, and in the next stage you have the other four. You are shifting between these states, but you have to have this. You have to have seven components that cannot change. So what happens when you get out of that end of the road or the margin of the road? When you get out of that margin, your mind is shrinking. You would understand this when you get the experience. When you try to when you try to focus on this samadhi, Since your mind is so your actions, or the mental actions, or you can say creation of thoughts in your mind becomes reduced to the baser level, your mind is now very easily getting shrinked. When the mind is shrinked, you feel like you are sleeping. You are sleepy, or you don't know what happened. You just wake up in few seconds, and you have no memory of what happened before few seconds or maybe minutes. And that happens because you cannot keep your body straight, so your body starts to incline to a side, and that wakes you up, and you'd think that you are asleep for a little bit of time there. But you would see a difference between sleeping and this, because you don't feel sleepy, but something has happened. You have lack of memory for a certain period of time. So that is the other end. That is getting off road from the other end of the or other side of the road. So when that happens, again you have to stimulate your mind with Dhamma Vijaya Virya and Preeti, and that would get you back into the pathway or the road. Here, if we go with the example, you are going back to the road, and that way, when you practice it back and forth, you would understand when, before you are going to the shrinking stage, or before you are going to the agitating stage. So when you are going to the agitating stage, you'd, before going that there, you'd change the gear, and you would go back to pasadi samadhi and upeka. When you feel like it is going to shrink, you would again change the gear, and you would go to again, this uh, Dhamma Vijaya, Preeti and Vijay Virya. So when you continue this gradually, you would be able to the samadhi, which is apanihita, sunyata, and uh, um, apanihita, then animitta and sunyata. When you would be able to um, feel these samadhis more, the power of the samadhi would increase. So because when you practice Bojjanga would, the ability, or the elements of this Bojjanga meditation, which are the seven components of Bojjanga, would start to get powerful and get, um, what do you call, and you would be able to go towards the nibbana, and at the end, you'd the Dhamma Vijaya would be developed, so you know Atanicca Dukkha Anatta more than before, and you would know what is samadhi, the nibbana samadhi, that is, you can say nibbana samadhi. So this sunyata vimoksha, apanihita vimoksha, because vimoksha is nibbana. Another word for nibbana is vimoksha. So you are practicing nibbana, or the idea of nibbana, in this satta bojjanga meditation. So when you do this again, you would get, if you are a person who is able to enter cheto vimukti pathway, you would get these four byproducts. One is pachamajjhana, second dutiyajjhana, tritiyajjhana, and chaturthajjhana. So first one, again, savitakka, savichara, piti, sukha, ekagrata. Then the second one, avitakka, avichara, samaji, priti, sukha, ekagrata, due to samadhi. This is due to savitakka and savichara, because of relaxed nature. This is happening because of relaxed nature. The five components are because of the relaxed nature, especially the main three, which is Preeti, Sukha, and Ekagrata. And this is due to relaxed nature. And in the second dhyana, this is due to samadhi, because the samadhi has been developed. These three is more powerfully felt, but not because of the relaxed nature, but because of the samadhi. And here the preeti is gone, but you would feel the sukha, and the level and the power of sukha would increase to a maximum, and the ekagrata would be there, the flat nature, no ups and downs, just that sukha in a constant state. So last one, the sukha would be gone, sukha is eliminated, but you would have the neutral state, which is adukkama asukha. So you don't have sukha or dukkha. You have a neutral state. And that is again in the ekagrata, state of ekagrata. So that is the four dhyanas. And these are like very helpful uh, environments that you can have for this meditation, the Bojjanga meditation, to uh, for you to practice the Bojjanga meditation. So in the first dhyana, it is like let's say you are in a train station. Now you are going to meditate. Or let's say you are going to do the vipassana, because we are focusing on vipassana meditation. Now you are going to do this meditation in a train station. Can you do it? It's harder, because there are a lot of people, because there are people going here and there, they are saying various things, and there can be people doing things that would increase the raga or dvesha or moha. So it is not a favorable, it is a hostile environment. So what you do, you go from that environment, you see, you think, um, this is not a good environment for meditation, I should go to a temple. Now you reach to a temple, but that is also a crowded temple, but it is better. So just first jhana is something like that. So you are in the world, and that is like a train station. You cannot do a proper vipassana there. Your mind starts going all over the place, and the concentration is not that good. So the focus is not that good, the mindfulness is not that good, everything is very weak. So what you do is, this is not going to work. So you go for the first. You enter the. When you do this, it automatically happens. You reach the first dhyana. Not you are going to, not you are trying to enter, but you reach it. When you do the things that are needed, you reach the first dhyana. It is something like you are going to the temple. So you went to the temple. In the temple, people are all the people are trying to do something religious. So raga dosa moha level is less, so everyone is dressed properly, everyone is doing something, chanting or worshipping, or listening to dhamma or something like that. But there are a lot of noise, people are talking, dhamma discussions happening, and everything is going on. So it is better, but not the ideal place. So you are in that place in the second dhyana. So the second dhyana is something like that. So so you think, no, this is also not, now my vipassana has developed, so it is better if I get a better environment for me to practice vipassana more intensely. So what you do is, you go for a monastery which does not allow people, or let's say there are less people, and the monastery is more focused on meditation, so there's less talking, less sound. So you go somewhere like that. So just like that, the third dhyana is more favorable for that, for vipassana. So you went there, no sounds, no raga dosa moha environment around. So you are able to do the vipassana more peacefully and more intensely. So that is like the third dhyana. And in there also there are occasionally, or at least occasionally, there are people coming, and there are interactions happening. So sometimes you get angry, sometimes you get these ideas of raga and moha as well. So you think, it's better if I get full, um, full what do you call, full isolation, not physical isolation. We are comparing it physical isolation, but we are not seeking physical isolation here, but this is only for comparison. We are looking for mental isolation, not the physical one. So that is what the fourth dhyana is. Fourth dhyana, when you achieve it, you are even you have even eliminated the sukha as well. So you have a plain base which is very neutral for your work to occur, work to you can work on that environment, and that is the ideal environment to vipassana, for vipassana. But you don't, sometimes you don't need that, you don't need to go that far. It says you can attain you can what do you call, uh, you can become arihat even in the first stage, second one, third one, or fourth one. Or you can again mm, go to the Atta Samapatti and end there as well. There are some pathway like that as well. So if you are going to if you're and your sole purpose of doing everything, that we have discussed, is to attain nibbana, you would focus on nibbana, not on the samadhi. There's a way of doing that there's a way of uh, develop, mm, uh, developing this pathway, or doing this pathway, or um, from that way as well. Because if you know about these yogis, or the people who have you are focusing on dhyana only, they are easily, they can easily understand supreme dhamma, because they have already created that environment in them. So somebody can create the environment first. One, two, three, four. I have created all the environment, and now I am going to do the vipassana. There's a methodology as like that as well. But that is, yeah, that can help. But it is easier if you could focus on nibbana and see these four outcomes as byproducts. So that would help your pathway. So in some sutras it says that you have to develop one, two, three, four, and at the end you have to do the vipassana. And in some sutras you see, you achieve the first one, you reach the first one, and that reaching also happened because of vipassana. That is vipassana purvangama samatha. So again, in the first one also, what you are doing is vipassana. Because of vipassana, you reach the second one, second dhyan. Again, if your prajna level is enough for you to attain nibbana, at that point you would reach there in the second one. If you need the third environment, otherwise you cannot attain nibbana. You need the third one. Only way to attain nibbana is for you to reach the fourth one. Otherwise, you would not be able to attain nibbana. You have to reach the fourth one. For some people, at least first one is enough, needed. Otherwise, they cannot have that level of vipassana in them. But for some people, first is not enough. They need the second one, and they can finish it off in the second one. And for some people, they even don't, or we can say, the second one is also not enough. They need the third one, and this goes on until the fourth one. For some people, that is also not enough. They have to complete the arupa dhyana as well. So that is if you have a very powerful samadhi indriya. If you have some powerful prajna indriya, you would be able to attain this even in the, let's say, train station. That is called panya vimukti, without the dhyana, and without the physically felt dhyana. So that is what we have, what I was that is what I wanted to tell you, and that is the full. pathway from beginning to the end in detail, and this is what you need to practice when you have understood what you need to do, or what the reality of this world is. So I hope that is clear. If you have any questions regarding what we have discussed so far, um, before going to the questions that you have posted um, in the chat, if you understand what we have discussed so far, or if you have any questions regarding what we have discussed so far, you can put that into the chat so we can have a better discussion. Otherwise, we'll go to the WhatsApp questions in the WhatsApp group.
Thank you very much, Tero, for that explanation. And as Tero said, we invite you to share any questions that may have arrived as a result of that discussion of the full pathway. If not, as Tero said, we can continue on to the next question. So please feel free to put those in.
Yeah, I would like to add something to that discussion while you are sending the questions, if you have any. So the thing is, this is only one pathway. There are various pathways. There's only one way to understand. The understanding is coming through anicca dukkha anatta. There's no other way to understand this world or the reality. Reality is by anicca dukkha anatta. But after reaching anicca dukkha anatta, after reaching, let's say, sotapanna state, or when your eyes of wisdom are opened, there are 64,000 or 84,000 ways of achieving this path, achieving the end. So various pathways to go. So this might not be your pathway sometimes, but this has all the necessary components. It changes in we can say the changes of the pathway happens um, in a very slight ways. It is very slight from one person to the other. There can be slight differences, and you would be able to understand or grasp these differences because of your Indriya levels. So, you know the Indriya Nanatta, Saddha, Virya, Sati, Samadhi, Panya. We all have these five Indriya, and these are Lokottara Indriya, not the Chakku, Sota, Gana, Jivha, Kaya, which is the physical Indriya, but the Lokottara Indriya. So, in this Lokottara Indriya, you have these Indriya, and they are in different levels. Saddha Indriya can be, let's say, 25%. Virya Indriya like 10%, and Sati Indriya like 40%, and Samadhi Indriya like again 40%, Prajna Indriya like, let's say, 60%. So you'd feel like your Prajna is, or you are able to think in a very wise manner. So you feel like that is your Indriya. That is what you feel. Nobody can tell you, because only one person can tell you, and that is Supreme Buddha. Otherwise, nobody else can tell you what Indriya you have strongly, and what Indriyas you have, the what are the weak Indriyas in you. That cannot be told by anybody else. You have to figure it out yourself. So when you have that understanding, when you have that, it is not an understanding actually, it is a feeling you get. You feel like you have to do this, you have to do that. When you feel like that, you have to trust your gut and go for it, and you have to experiment and see um, what suits best for you. That's why I said before, there are no limitations here in Buddha Sasana. It is all belong to it is all belong to your wisdom. So depending on the level of wisdom, depending on the ability for you to contemplate and think rationally, you would be able to you'd be able to make your own way towards Nibbana. So that is what you need to understand and as a end note. So since we have not got any questions regarding this today's discussion, we'll go back to um, the questions that you have posted on the WhatsApp chat. And I think one was regarding, let me see. If I missed any questions because it has been few weeks now, uh, please repost them on the chat or um, repost them on the WhatsApp chat.
There
I
was a
think,
question related to your earlier explanation.
yeah, sure. So I don't see the question in my chat. Can you read
Shall
it?
I read it out, Thero? It
Yeah.
says,
Okay, I got it.
okay.
Okay. Tero, what is your recommendation to whom got Saddha Indriya most powerful? So that's a good question. So we might have not discussed about the pathway of a Saddha Indriya, so the Saddha person. So Saddha Indriya is something, someone goes with, we can say, uh, trust. And this trust is not just I trust you and because of that I believe whatever you say. Not a trust like that. It is trust based on wisdom. So you understand something, and a trust is built up on that understanding. For example, I have not seen the Supreme Buddha, but because of the Saddha Indriya, I don't know whether he existed. I don't know whether he was real, and I don't know whether the things that are heard was actually what he preached. I don't have any evidence, solid evidence. I have not seen with my eyes. I have not heard with my ears. But the thing is, I am like 100% sure that it happened because it is, there's an element of wisdom as well there, because you hear something and you understand that, and the wisdom is um, what do you call the eyes of wisdom are opened there, and now you can see everything that is being heard through Dhamma discussions, through sermons, as something that should be told by Supreme Buddha, because it what do you call, it is, there are no discrepancies, there are no gaps, it fits quite well. So you have this idea. Likewise, when you have um, this Saddha Indriya, that is what you get. You feel like you have no problem with following this, trusting this Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. So initially, when somebody reaches Sotapanna state, before Sotapanna state, you have these uh, pa- uh, uh, two two types of people, which is you say those people, Sotapanna stream enterers, or Magga Anugamika. So these Sotapanna stream enterers are of two types. What are those? One is Saddhanusari. The second one is Dhammanusari. So Dhammanusari person is coming into the pathway, getting into the pathway because of seeing the Dhamma. The Shraddhanusari person comes into the pathway because of seeing the Dhamma, but with trust. You trust the trust Buddha Dhamma Sangha. You develop a firm trust that this is correct, and you are, and that is not something that is going to change. So that is Saddha Indriya. And this person, when he becomes Sotapanna, so when he becomes Sotapanna, the Sotapanna person is known as Shraddha Vimukta. From Sotapanna to Arihat, again that person goes with trust. You complete the Arya pathway with trust, because if we go to the basics, even because your will or your wanting or anything else is not going to impact on the result, only the causes are going to impact on the result. So you don't need to uh, what you have to do is you only have to follow the pathway or create the causes, and the effect will occur. So I'll give you an example here. So one person knows how to bake cake. So this person knows how to create the dough, and this person knows all the ingredients. You have to put flour, you have to put sugar, you have to put and you have to put eggs, and you have to beat everything, and you have to have the correct what you call mixture, and you have to put it in the oven, and you have to heat it to this degrees of Celsius, and after this time you get a result, and that is the end result. So that, let's say, that's Nibbana. So there's another person, and that person doesn't know how to cook bake cake, but his teacher knows. So he asked teacher, what have to do, what do I have to do next? So get 500 grams of flour. Okay. He trusts the person and he does what he says. So he get that. And then he says, the teacher says, okay, now put this much of sugar. Okay. He does that as well. And likewise, a mixture is made. Now put it in the oven and put the temperature to this. And after this time, you get that out and you taste the result. And he does exactly as said, and he get the end result, and he tastes the cake. Do you think if he has done everything as told, the end result, which are the two cakes of the cake of the first person and the cake of the second person, do you think those are different, or do you think the taste of those cakes are different from one another? No. If you have gone through the same pathway, the taste is the same. So the Nibbana is the same. So you can achieve Nibbana that way. So, so that is what what you call um, Vinaya Pitaka is there. So Vinaya Pitaka is for Saddha Indriya, the everything. So a person would not, so the Supreme Buddha has told what needs to be done, especially that is for, we can say, monks, but we can say you can practice the 10 precepts. You can practice the what Supreme Buddha has told you. If, compare it with yourself. And if something is bad, do not do it. Something is good for you and for the others, do it. So that is enough for a Saddha person sometimes. So he does not, um, he never violates what his teacher says, because he trusts the teacher to the end, with his life, and that is a very developed Shraddha in the person. So so that person would be able to complete the Arya pathway without very what you call hardness, because he just follows the supreme advices that has been told. But other people, they have to experience it for themselves. So they just go here and there, they just go out of the pathway, and then they experience that this is not correct, and they come back, and then they again go in the correct pathway. And that is going back and forth. That happens. If the Saddha Indriya is very powerful, that person is in the is following the supreme advices, so would reach the supreme result without much discomfort. That's why it says one indriya is not superior to another. It's all the same. it Each and every one has its weaknesses as well as strengths. So again, with the saddha indriya, you have to sharpen up the saddha indriya. What do you have to do to sharpen up the saddha indriya? Think about the qualities of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. That would sharpen up the Saddha Indriya. Puja, offerings, and reciting the qualities and the um, good virtuousness of these monks and Supreme Buddha and everything. And again, these poems and songs also sometimes helps, but those are very primitive methods. It comes with the understanding. So when you reach, when you know what Dhamma is, Dhamma, understanding Dhamma itself would um, give you an idea of what type of a person Supreme Buddha is. So that is why it is said you have to see Dhamma to see Buddha. So that is what a person with Shraddha Indriya would contemplate. So when you compare it with wisdom, so the person with very developed wisdom, Indriya or wisdom organ, would even see Supreme Buddha not as a person but as a quality. Because of that, the Saddha Indriya is might not be his strength. So he do not get that trusting the trust like that, like the powerful trust like the this person with Saddha Indriya. So this person has the understanding, likes to see. So I think, so what are the characteristics of a person with wisdom indriya? So in the wisdom or the panya indriya, that person likes to see. Oh, that is why it is said ditta patha. So the first one, when the person becomes a stream enterer, he is said dhamma dhamma anusari. So because of dhamma, he becomes aligned to the pathway, not because shraddha, but because of Dhamma. So Dhamma aligns the person to the pathway. That's why he becomes a Sotapanna stream enterer. And when he attains the Phala or the state, Sotapanna state, he is said Ditta Patha. Ditta means weave. So that person weaves or sees the Dhamma. So because of seeing, he knows what is he doesn't need any trust. He sees that. So that is um, another way of reaching the end result. So that person would become either, if that person has a powerful samadhi indriya as well, that person would become ubato vimukta with both panya vimukti and cheto vimukti. But if the only the panya indriya is developed and the other indriyas are not that developed, that person would reach panya vimukti. So when someone has reached panya vimukti, he sees the reality of the world, and see he has completed, has become an arihat after eliminating all the raga dosa moha, because of the comprehensive understanding of anicca dukkha and anatta. But he does not have these mental abilities, mental what you call dhyana and abhijna, and everything is not there. But that's the difference. But if that person has samadhi indriya, anyway you have to develop the panya or the indriyas. But since one indriya helps the others, they all act together, but one rises up above from the rest. So that is why that person's indriya is, uh, that's why we call that person from the name of the indriya that he has uh, more, which is more powerful. So, so that is wisdom indriya. So, the difference between wisdom is actually, the term wisdom is very misleading. There's no correct term in English or a substitute term in English for panya. Panya is actually, if you explain the panya is seeing the real nature, something like that. Wisdom can mean anything. Wisdom can mean intelligence, wisdom can mean rational thinking, whatever it is. But the real meaning of panya is seeing the real nature, or seeing the thing as it is. So no covers, no misleading, no illusions, no delusions, no hallucinations, nothing. You see the thing as it is. That is wisdom. So that is why dittapata is the word for a person who is of panya indriya. So you see it, you see the thing. It is not something that hard. That's why even a 7-year-old small boy could become arihat. Because if it was rocket science and something very complicated, a small child would not be able to understand. But even a small child can understand because it's just seeing, but seeing without covers, without the covers of avijja. That is not an easy task. Even the highest educated people, people with most intelligence, most IQ, would not be able to understand a little bit of this, even a fraction of this, because it is totally different from intelligence and everything else. This wisdom is something different. Actually, the word wisdom does not do any, what do you call, uh, uh, it does not suit that word panya. But we don't have anything else to call panya indriya when we are discussing about in English. So we are going for wisdom indriya, but it should be actually panya indriya. So I hope those two questions were answered. Um, and if you have any questions regarding those answers, feel free to put that on the chat.
We have a follow-up um, a statement, maybe.
Yes, yeah, I should try hard to be a good student, reminding the qualities of triple gems, including the Supreme Buddha, frequently as much as I can. If you are a person who reads Tripitaka, Pali Canon, go for Diga Nikaya. Diga Nikaya is the Nikaya for Saddha Indriya. It has very descriptive things, just like the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, which explains a lot of qualities of Supreme Buddha. And you would be able to, uh, that would be the fuel that helps to develop the Ashraddha Indriya. So, thinking about how Supreme Buddha has, what do you call, um, sacrificed his whole life for 45 years to um, to distribute or to give this Arya Dhamma to all the mortals, or you can say sentient beings in the universe without any what do you call without having any favorations. Because let's go in and see how that happens. So when Supreme Buddha becomes the Supreme Buddha, or the Mahabodhisattva becomes Supreme Buddha, he has the ability to get end his life, because sanskara, Ayu he can stop the Ayu Sankara. If he stops the Ayu Sankara, he can attain the uh, Parinibbana at that point, at that place, just after becoming a Supreme Buddha. And there's no problem. It's very easy, just like turning a switch off. But he uh, completed 45 years of his life, even after becoming Supreme Buddha, just to give, just only uh, aim of his was to give this Dhamma to all the sentient beings. And what he has to go through when he was doing that, he has to go through lot of difficulties, physical difficulties. He had to go through this Lohita Pakandika. That was a very unbearable disease, and he has to he was uh, accused with rape, killing, and various other things, and people did not sometimes were blaming, scolding him, and there were this what do you call this monk, Devadatta monk Devadatta tried to kill him and tried to hurt him with various types of things, and at the end of the life he said, my body is like a old and very what do you call very deteriorated cart. Cart means uh, the vehicle, or the thing that is driven by horses or cows, so bulls. So that he compared his body to something like that, because it was very hard at the end of the life, because everybody goes through deterioration. So that all of that, he has to go through all of that only because he had lot of metta. So now a person with Shraddha Indriya, I'm giving you an example here. A person with Shraddha Indriya would see that quality and try to implement that quality in him. I also should be a student. It's actually not a teacher-student relationship. It's actually a father-son relationship. So I also should be like my father. So if you really see, we have had billions and millions of fathers. We cannot even count in this sansaric journey. This father whom we are having right now also would be one of them when we die. We also would not be able to remember. And if you really see what these fathers throughout the sansara has done for us, for the current life, your previous father, or the, let's say, father of 10 to 20 lifetimes before, there's no impact on this life. This father, the current father, might have an impact on this life, but when you go again few lifetimes ahead, even this father would not have had any impact on your life for the upcoming lifetime. But Supreme Buddha, who is the father of all the Buddhists, or the true Buddhist in this world, has impacted you until the end of this samsara, which is attaining Nibbana. So that impact would be there. So that is why it is said that Supreme Buddha is the father and the mother, both. He has both qualities of a father and a mother. So that's why the Supreme Buddha becomes a parent to a child, and this child is the Arya person. There are, I think, good people, good children, bad children, children that listens to their parents, children that does not listen to their parents, children who are good, who are with good qualities, who are bad with bad qualities. But parents never discriminate on them. The parents always the love, or the, let's say here, the metta of the parent is equal to all the children. So that is why, if you understand that, these are very good qualities to reflect on. When you see these qualities, I also should be, I also should cultivate these qualities in me. Now, when you cultivate these qualities, a big set of defilements would be eliminated, and that is actually the pathway of for a person who has a powerful Shraddha Indriya. So likewise, there are a lot of points you can grasp if you follow, if you go through these sermons and uh, discussions and material that would help a person to develop the Saddha Indriya. So I hope that is clear. And I was just adding for what you have said. Yes. So I think we go for the questions that you have posted on the WhatsApp chat. And the first one, I think this is the first one. I don't know whether I have missed something else. Theruvan Sarana, I have a question about the first Aloka Udapadi from Dhamma Chakkapawatana Sutta. Please explain in detail the Aryan meaning, interpretation of the phrase Aloka Udapadi. Theruvan Sarana, please. So, Aloka Udapadi. Now, we can have two meanings here. Aloka means light. In one way, the correct, it means light. And this is a comparison. In the Pali Canon and in Supreme Buddha's teachings, he has used a lot of comparisons. This is also a comparison like that. So the darkness is compared to avidya. So if you are in avidya, you cannot see properly, just like in the darkness. So if you are in the darkness, if the lights or the there's a power cut at let's say 8 o'clock at the night, you cannot see anything. You feel a helpless feeling. Let's say you are not even at the house, you are in the outside on the road, and there was a power cut. Whole city is in the dark. You don't have a mobile phone or a torch or anything, and there are people all around. There can be, let's say, thieves and people who would hurt you, and this is not a very friendly neighborhood. People can rob you, and you are in the dark. You don't know where you are, and you don't know where to go. You don't know what to do. So if that's your mindset, then now you feel the helplessness, just like avidya. So when you have avidya, you don't know what you are doing. You are just moving towards, can be moving towards a very dangerous place, end, just like in the comparison. So let's say a person, a kalyana mitra, comes and gives you a lamp or a torch. Now I'll give you this torch, and have this torch, and be aware of your surrounding. Get rid of these things, If you see, when you flash this torch to the front, if you see these kinds of people, these animals, and these dangers, avoid them and follow this pathway, and this would help you. This light would help you, and that is aloka. Aloka Uddapadi. That was the light Supreme Buddha was talking about. Avidya was a darkness, but darkness cannot win. Darkness always is defeated by aloka, or light, because when there is light, darkness cannot win. It always loses. So that is one explanation. The other one is loka, means the world. What is loka? Again, rupa, chakku, sota, gana, jivha, kaya, and mano. Oh, again, if we translate it in English, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, and mind. No, that is not, that is one part of loka. And the other part is rupa, sadda, gandha, rasa, sparsha, dharma. That is images, sounds, smells, tastes, touches, and thoughts. When you when you get, or when you take these 12 items together, that is called loka, or the world. And what happened when you attain, when a person attains nibbana, or attains the enlightenment, aloka. So you are the 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 attachment to the loka is eliminated. That is aloka, and that is another explanation for aloka. So aloka, that is, aloka has two explanations. One is light, and the other one is arya explanation, which has a vipassana element in it. And the first one, first meaning is actually the surface meaning, and this meaning, what we discuss right now, is a deep meaning, which is the Arya meaning. And in the Arya meaning, you can, now I am not going to go into depth because you can understand how deep it is. So it has everything in that word that we need to understand. Everything, anicca, dukkha, anatta, everything is embedded in that aloko. Because if you expand it and see with your vipassana ability, you would be able to see what is loka, and how to become aloka. That is through the understanding anicca dukkha anatta, seeing nibbana as the end, or the only option, which is the blissful end. And if you understand that, that explains aloko udapadi. And that is uh, that is the first question. And I'm explaining this one by one. If you have any questions regarding the previous ones, just type that into the chat. Theruvan Saranai Theru, I got a simple curiosity about two terms. In my assumption, I thought that there is a direct relation between the term bhava, and bhavana. Uh, and I guessed Arya Bhavana includes getting rid of maintaining karma for the future Bhava as Bhava Uddha. And I am quite sure about it. I hope Thero gives us a sermon about Bhava and Bhava. Yeah. Yes, now, yes, what you have said is correct. And I'd like to add something as well. So, Bhava, you know what Bhava is? Bhava na. Na means nasana. If you know the word nasana, nasana means destroy, eliminating. You can say uh, there can be other words as well, more suitable words. Something like, let's say, uh, yeah, something like destroy. So you destroy it, bhava. When you destroy the bhava, what the action of, or the mechanic, we can say the tool the tool that we use to destroy the bhava is bhavana. Again, another meaning for bhavana is use. So you have to use. Bhavana has this meaning, use. What you are going to use? The Arya Dhamma. Use of Arya Dhamma is again bhavana. So bhavita is a word. Bhavita means use. So when you use it again and again, bhavitaya, bahuli kataya, yani kataya, vattu kataya, anuttichaya, parichitaya, susamaradhaya. So that's a phrase in Pali Canon. You would see it. So bhavitaya, again bhavana. Bahuli kataya means use it more and more. So you use it, and bhavitaya, again bahuli kataya, you use it more and more frequently. Yani kataya, you make it your vehicle. So why does it phrase like that? Because when you use it something as your vehicle, when you go somewhere, you always use your vehicle. You don't if you have only one vehicle, you are not going to change it. If you are not going to change it, if you want to go to town, if you are going to go to supermarket, or whatever, wherever it is, you use that vehicle. Likewise, you have to use the vehicle of vipassana when you are traveling in the world. So that is why it is said yani kataya. Vattu kataya. So it should become your precious thing. Vastu becomes the most valuable thing. Vattu kataya. Anuttitaya. Uh, yani kataya, vattu kataya, anuttitaya, parichitaya, susamaradhaya. So that ends there. So it should become uh, your precious or the valuable thing. So everything, all the few words that we have discussed here explains bhavana. So this was, if you read the Mettani Sutta, in the Mettani Sutta, uh, we have 11 results that you would get if you practice metta. Sukang supati, sukang patibunjati, napapakang supinang pasati, manusanam piyo hoti. Likewise, there are 11. So in these 11 results, he says, if you want to get these 11 results, you have to do the bhavana. Again, at that end, you have this yani kataya, vattu kataya, anuttitaya, parichitaya, susamarataya, everything. So it is the bhavana. You have that is the meaning of bhavana, use. And the other meaning is bhavaya nasana. So nasana means elimination, destroying, removing, whatever it is. You can have any meaning. So uh, bhava is eliminated. So again, something like bhava uddha. Bhava uddha also elimination of bhava, and the act of doing that is bhavana. So get rid of it. And that is the explanation for this word. And I think you have put something into the chat as well. Does the word nasana in the term bhavana has similar meaning as nasika? Nasika. I have to go through the word nasika. I have no idea what the meaning of nasika means. I think nasana is a Pali word. Otherwise, it can be maybe it is Sinhala. I don't know. These words sometimes get confused because Sinhala words and Pali words are very similar at some points. So it's very sometimes it can be conflicting for me to when I'm telling the meanings. But anyway, Sinhala also, since it is very similar, um, you can take the Nirukti in Sinhala, and most of the time it is through Sinhala that you can have a correct Nirukti, because it says that it is easy because it was a language created by what do you call Siupilisimbia Theros, the language of Siupilisimbia Theros. So it is you can understand the meanings very easily and correctly through this language. So I'll check on this and I'll tell you next time. I'll get the screenshot and I'll tell you next time about this word Nasika. I am not quite sure what the meaning of that word is. So is that it, or do we have any more questions posted in the WhatsApp?
Thank you very much, Thero, for that explanation and for also taking on the other questions. I'm also not sure whether there are additional questions, maybe those who have posted it on the WhatsApp group, if they can inform us whether there are any balance questions, we could take it up. Thero, in the meantime, since there was a question on the wisdom or the prajna indriya also, maybe you can state which part of the Pali Canon has sutras on that. Maybe that would also be helpful since we mentioned if that is possible.
Yeah. Now the Panya Indriya, if you are a person of Panya Indriya, you can understand everything very quickly and in very short explanations. And the person with Panya Indriya does not like very deep, very big, very expanded explanations. He just need only the essence or the everything in few sentences, no additional things. So that is the nature of a person with Panya Indriya. So the part in the the part in Pali Canon which that person would be using is the Samyukta Nikaya. So Samyukta Nikaya has very small suttas, but everything compacted, and that compact uh, ideas would be expanded in his or her mind. So if the person is of has the Panya Indriya, that person would be able to comprehend a lot of things through that small sutta. So that is the difference between that is what is needed for a person with Panya Indriya.
We have not yet received any update on whether we have missed any questions. Thero, unless you want to cover anything with regard
Yeah,
to.
I'm going through that. I remember one question. Yeah, there's a question. I said I'll cover it with more detail. I send an answer to that question in the WhatsApp, but I said I'll cover it some more during the discussion. So I read the question and I think that is the end of this question, all the questions. So I have one question. Although I haven't read all the suttas, it seems that Buddha gave his disciples one meditation topic. And if progress was slow, sometimes the subject of the meditation was changed. Since Supreme Buddha does not exist, do we have to combine various meditation methods so we are in a situation where I need to find the meditation topic that best suits me, or should we continue to combine them, or is my knowledge selecting one method meditation topic not is my knowledge not everything, and are there many other cases? So I hope you understand the question. So there, in this question, so yes, we don't have that luxury of asking from Supreme Buddha what we should practice. So in our case, it might take some time for us to understand what to practice. So let's say I'll give you an example like this. So you want to swim. So you understand everything about swimming. You know what to do. You know all the techniques. You have learned everything. But you have not even jumped into the pool yet. Now you jump into the pool. You know all the four techniques: freestyle, backstroke, and the other two ones, butterfly, and there's one more. So you know all the four techniques as well. So you jump into the water and You try one. You try the freestyle, and after trying the freestyle for some time, you feel maybe backstroke is better for me. Then you try backstroke, and after some time you feel no, maybe the butterfly is the one for me. So you try the butterfly, and when you try different methods, you will, if you are a person who can swim, you knows how to swim, you have a favorite. You have a one that is less tiring, that is more, that you can add more power and more speed. So that would be your one. That would be your style of swimming. That is the best one. That is the best swimming style for you. So that how did that happen? Because of your, maybe because of your body, how it was built and everything. So likewise, depending on your Indriya levels, you would have different um, abilities, but you don't know that because you have yet not got into the water. But when you get into the water, or when you're trying to do this, trying to practice the RA pathway, you you would know this. When you practice some time, you would feel like, no, maybe this one is better for me, and you would practice and you would see the difference. You would contrast and compare, and you would see, no, the previous one was better than this one. And our way of um, completing the pathway or practicing the pathway is through trial and error to some extent, because we don't have that those wise people or wise RA individuals around us to tell us what we should do right now, especially a Supreme Buddha, because he's the only one that can do that. Because we have not, let's say, created all the causes for that to happen. Otherwise, we would not be going this far in the Sansari journey. We would have attained Nibbana 2500 years ago when the Supreme Buddha was still alive. So we did not have that luxury because we do not have created all the causes for that. But that is anicca. That is how the samsara and world is. So we should try to end this somehow with all the resources that we are having right now. Because for a person, for a sentient being, this opportunity is also a very rare one. And this opportunity is also, we should not take it for granted, and we should do everything that is possible, everything at our disposal to end this samsaric journey as fast as possible. So go through, sometimes you have to go through a period of trial and error, through what suits you best. So when you do that, there can be problems, and you can better discuss those problems with our friends. So it would help. Their experiences would help you to uh, tune up your pathway. Because if somebody is trying to have help without trying to go in alone, all alone, that would help. It is just like uh, uh, somebody um, trying to have a uh, let's say cross a river, trying to cross a river alone, and trying to cross a river all together another bunch of people. That second option would be more helping, because you can tie your you can hold one another's um, arms, and you can cross the river all together. Because when one is trying to fall, others can hold on to that person and uh, overcome the resistance of the river. So that would help. So I hope that is clear, this the explanation for that answer. So, yeah.
Uh, Thank you very much, Thero. We have not received any further questions, and I think you have, Thero has cleared the balance questions from last week. So I think
Yeah.
with that, with today, with many explanations, I believe would have been very helpful. And it's also good to see questions coming in as you practice and getting more into those things. So we encourage you to continue that. If there are any questions during the time in coming to the next week, then we will host a discussion if that is the case. Reminding that, Thero, may I now respectfully invite you to end today's session with a short Anumodana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So today we have discussed many things regarding how to complete the Arya pathway. So that is, of course, the basis, underlying basis of everything is anicca dukkha anatta. If someone is practicing anicca dukkha anatta even for a very little period of time, that creates immeasurable amounts of merits. The meritorious power which is generated may help everybody. The ones who have been participating in the Zoom discussion, as well as the ones who might have joined us in various ways, we can see or we cannot see. So all of those individuals may get the perfect environment with this meritorious power. May they get uh, the favorable environment for them to practice the Arya Dhamma. May everyone get life, refreshness, power, and comfort and wisdom that is needed for everybody to complete the Arya pathway. And in that favorable environment, may everybody receive the Kalyana Mitta Sampatti, Saddhamma Savana, Dhamman Dhammapatipada, as well as the Yoniso Manasikara, the four elements of Sotapanna, the four requirements to become a Sotapanna. May everyone get those requirements, uh, and may everyone open up the eyes of wisdom. And after opening up the eyes of wisdom, may everyone complete the Arya Atthangika Magga, completing the Arya pathway, ending the sufferings, attaining supreme bliss of Nibbana. Accept this blessing with the sadhukar.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
And also, if you have any, and also the things or the meritorious power that you have generated through these discussions, let us let us transfer that meritorious power to all the sentient beings in the universe, especially the deceased relations, fathers, mothers, and also the teachers and the people who helped us in various ways, and also the ones who were hurted by us and harmed by us throughout the sansaric journey. Let us acknowledge our faults and let us transfer this meritorious power to them as a compensation for our faults and helping them in all the ways which is possible, with a very metta mindset, and also the ones who have been helping us to have these Zoom discussions, the people who are behind the scene, the people who are contributing to this, to maintain these facilities, internet connections, and also the computer devices and temples and everything, and also the ones who are in the realms of gods and planes of Brahma, and all the sentient beings in the universe as well. Let us spread this immeasurable meritorious power to them. May they rejoice on these meritorious deeds. If they are in miserable places, may they refrain from doing sinful acts. May they replace those sinful acts with meritorious deeds, and may they lead happy lives, ultimately understanding the reality of the world, attaining the supreme bliss of Nibbana. Transfer this meritorious power to all of them with metta and kindness with the sadhukar.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
So that would end our discussion, and I'll recite this Pali stanza, wishing you good luck with all the necessary prerequisites in completing your Haripate. Abhivadana series Nichang Vadapchayano Chattaro Dhamma Vadanti Ayuvanno Sukambalang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sakka Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminati Samichatu. May everyone attain the supreme bliss of Nibbana.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you very much, Thero, for your valuable time and explaining the Dhamma to all of us again today. And also, thank you very much for the participants for putting up these questions that helped us to also listen to this Dhamma and understand it. With that, we end this session. And if there are questions, again, we will take it up next week. Thank you very much. Teruvan Saranai, Teruvan Saranai to all.
Everyone, Sarana, everyone.
Teruan Saranai.
Teruvan Saranai.